Alright, Knights of Apollo, what's up guys? It's Apollo here and welcome back to another glorious Rome 2 Siege battle. You're probably looking at this scene right here and thinking, what the hell's going on? Well, we've got a little Vanguard versus Vanguard. Let me actually just, because this is really funny, I thought this was really cool. So I'm one of the defenders today and my ally is going Nervii and he has Vanguard troops. So did Pixelated. Now, Pixelated was able to deploy, and I'll pause it really fast. He's able to deploy these like random siege towers really close to the wall. So he has one here, he's got one over here. I believe he has one all the way over here, which we're gonna sally out, charge him. But because Nervii brought some guerrilla troops as well, they were able to deploy outside the city and get directly behind them. So I thought that was pretty hilarious. I thought that was something that's really cool. And, you know, oftentimes people see as like Vanguard troops as more of an aggressive kind of tactic that you would see from attackers rather than defenders. But you can actually you could be quite aggressive with them on the defense as well. And just completely slaughter these Nubian light infantry that fight for Pixelated. So I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really funny. And originally he had like all of the units together, all the siege towers, and then all of the guerrilla troops were ready for Nervii, and it was gonna be like a big epic like got you out of position. So also that's another thing is like if you have Vanguard troops, make sure your opponent doesn't have the capability to bring Vanguard because it could be a disaster just like that. So this was actually played live on my channel. So I'm streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think I'm just gonna stream siege battles because it seems that everybody likes that. And we peaked at like 1,300 viewers. So I was like, you know what? We should just do this more often because it is really fun and yeah, it is quite exciting. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I hope to see you guys there. And I do try to play with as many people as possible, but because Total War is a game that takes very long to play, especially siege battles, and you can only have up to 8 players, it can be difficult to try to get everybody in. Also, another tragic thing about Total War is that you've got to have a decent computer to run it or it causes everyone else to lag. And if you have a potato computer, I just can't play with you because for viewers' sake, if it's too laggy, it's going to cause a lot of issues. Anyways, so yeah, let's give a little rundown of the factions here. So of course, like you saw at the beginning, we have Nervii, who were attacking Pixelated. But with the just looking at the defenders, Nervii, and then I am playing as Macedon. So good old defensive faction. My ally over here, Core, going as the Seleucids, and then finally we have Pieman, who is going as Boii, or as I like to call him, Boy. So yeah, there you go, Boii. By the way, all these players here are YouTube members. I do give YouTube members priority over just normal, non-YouTube members, just normal subs. So yeah, if you guys want to become a member joining these battles, I would greatly appreciate it because that does me, it does me wonders, I guess. Is that the right way? That sounds kind of weird. But it helps with the more, with YouTube, every day it's like they throw out a crappy policy and you never know what's going to happen next. So memberships kind of help stabilize that a little bit. Anyways, oh, by the way, there's a link to be a member down below, so check that out. But thank you guys for looking at that. So let's look at the attackers now. So we have Egypt, who's teaming up with the Ivacy, and I think it's just, and Tylus here. So 3 factions are blobbed up here attacking this wall. They definitely really want to overwhelm this side of the wall. And then Pixelated is over on this flank. They do have some artillery capability, which they're trying to bring down our walls as we speak. In this battle, I was trying to be more of a support player, and I think Nervii was doing the same thing. He has a lot of reserves just hanging back, ready to be a support player. I gotta give credit. I want a big shout out. Now that I think about it, Pieman, the player who's playing Boii, is a very tough position because not only does he have to defend against Ivacy and Tylus, but he also has to defend against Pixelated. So it's gonna be quite the challenge. Now, I'm actually going to fast forward here a little bit. Oh, maybe not. Okay, I was hoping we'd be able to fast forward and kind of see the progress of this. But I'm just going to, in a nutshell, explain what goes on here because it takes the attackers a very long time to attack. It takes them about 15 minutes to just start the battle. So what they do is that they slowly move up the arrow towers like they are now, but they never fully commit. While they have their arrow towers in position, which, by the way, they've got these scorpions on the arrow towers, which are doing damage to our forces. So I get it. It's smart play. You're slowly pushing these things up. They're like tanks, essentially. They're hard to kill, and they just shoot, scorpion ammo, bolts, big bolts at you. So it's a good tactic. I get it. So yeah, they're slowly pushing up the siege towers. They are also using their artillery to bring down some walls, and they're just basically kind of waiting for the defenses to kind of go down, the walls to go down, and once they feel comfortable, once they feel ready, they're going to charge in, and the big battle begins. So again, this takes a long time, so I'm going to fast forward, guys, and get to the part where it gets exciting. All right, guys, we are back, and as you can tell, looking at the time, we removed a huge chunk amount of time. We edited out a huge chunk amount of time, and this is where things start to get interesting. Finally, the attackers are deciding to commit. Now, really fast, I want to give you a quick rundown of what's happened so far, what the base is looking like, and our tactics at this point. So I've got a couple units of thorax swordsmen ready to hold here. It looks like Arverni is sending a couple siege towers to attack this far flank. I didn't really want to dedicate too much. I have 3 units, 2 swords, 1 archer unit. Down this way, we have Egypt, who has a ton of siege towers in position, but none of them are pushing out troops quite yet. We do have a back and forth with the Arverni Gaelic hunters that are trying to play a little cat and mouse game with, I guess, the defending archers, but they're kind of going back and forth. Tylus looks like he's forming up his forces, ready to push through this gap here at any moment. And then Masacely is also kind of forming up here. They've knocked down a couple walls, and they're ready to attack at any moment. Now, on the defending side, our tactic here, well, our tactic is to hold the walls, because the thing about Athens is that it's tough to take the walls, but once you take the walls, it's kind of an open battlefield here, and it can be very difficult to defend because there's not a lot of choke points. It's pretty open. There's some choke points here and there, but overall, look at it. Look at this open space right here. You see that? Okay, that's not drawing well. There we go. I don't know. My mouse is not wanting to work. There we go. Look at that open space. That's going to be tough to hold. And so most of the time when you lose the walls, people just fall back to the final stand, which you can kind of defend this a little bit easier. Anyways, if you look over here, oh my God, look over here. I have been stuttering and slurring all day today. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we have Nervii, who's pushing out a bunch of forces. They were originally by this gate. So they're kind of pushing out, and they're going to try to get the enemy by surprise. So they're going to try to get Masacely by surprise, and we're going to go for the archers. Because remember, archers are key in siege battles. We can take them out early. That's going to be a huge help. So yeah, he's forming up, going out. I'm also, I have some cav over here ready to charge out. I'm just kind of waiting because I don't want to. I know sometimes you can see cav really early, so I don't want to spoil the little surprise attack. So that's a very important tactic that we're doing right there. So over here we go. Finally, we got ourselves an infantry versus infantry battle. We've got some Celtic warriors taking on my thorax swords. I'm going to go ahead and position my archers over here on the flank and open fire. So I got the mercenary Cretan archers ready. Yeah, look at that. And that's going to easily help. Oh my God. I call this tactic shooting fish in a barrel, where you just hold the enemy in place and you let the archers do all the heavy lifting. Oh, yes indeed. Yes indeed. And then we've got another unit over here of, I think, Chosen Swords? Yeah, Chosen Swordsmen, which is a much bigger threat. This is a much more scarier unit that we're going to be taking on these walls. So I don't want to dedicate too much arrow fire against these Celtic warriors. I think that would have been a waste because these thorax swords can hold their own, especially at this point since they lost so many men in that initial initial push. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is send my mercenary Cretan archers all the way over to this side and do the same thing, but against the other unit. I'm gonna form them up and fire in the backs of these chosen swordsmen. Let's see the first volley. There's a bit of an oak tree in the way. I didn't realize that when I was actually playing. There was also some pretty big lag in the game when we were playing, which I hate lag because if you try to do anything sneaky, there's a better chance of the enemy seeing it because they're just going slower, right? So you have a better reaction time. See, there we go. Nice couple volleys there. Very nice. So that's going to slowly chip away at these chosen swordsmen and hopefully save my thorax swordsman. Very nice. Very nice. So over here, here's the big push by Tylus. And guys, honestly, I'm just going to come out and tell you, this is a crucial part of the battle. You are going to see a lot of death in this area of the battlefield. So far, Boei is holding. We've got some chariots from Syracuse coming in and trying to knock down these soldiers, do as much damage. Unfortunately, they're breaking. But right now, Boei is trying to hold, and we are starting to shift reinforcements over to that area as we speak. The Seleucids are also holding over here against Egypt as they push some troops, push the troops down the wall. And if we go over here, Misasle is also pushing in, and Boei has the very challenging task of holding against Misasle. Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to the Boei player, who is also known as Pie Man. It's tough fighting two positions like this, and if I could go back in time, I don't like leaving players out like that to have to hold two major parts of the settlement. I'd rather every player hold one part so they can micro one area instead of two areas. But so far, he's doing an excellent job. And yeah, he's definitely trying to hold this section of the wall. You can see already we're starting to see some troops break over here. I have my reserve force way over here, and I am starting to shift over some Thracian swords. I'm not running them because I don't want them to get tired, but eventually I'm like, all right, I don't have time. This is a big mistake on my part. Remember, at the beginning of the battle, I'm being a support player, and my army is just kind of too far away. They need to get a little closer. What's going on? There we go. Get a little closer so they can easily reinforce this battle. But honestly, you know what I was expecting? I was expecting Egypt and Iverni to push this wall really hard, and then my army would be close by to support it. But I did not expect such a huge push from Tylus to the point where we're having to quickly scramble and get troops over here to hold this position. There we go. Look at them. They're just, I'm sorry for the lag, but it is a big battle, a 4v4. Oh, nice little jabby throw there. Axe Warriors trying to close in the gap. But more and more, look at this. It's just never ending. More and more troops just running through the rubble, running past the destroyed chariots. And Boei does a good job of maintaining this line. Now the Seleucids are coming in with reinforcements. Now I'm coming in for reinforcements. Finally, right? God, it's getting really laggy. There's just so many troops in one area fighting it out. Try to get rid of the HUD. Maybe that will help. But there we go. I'm just trying to reinforce where it looks thin. And already at this point, I'm sending over more reinforcements. They're on their way. Look at this. I gotta hurry up. I'm like, holy crap. I just did not expect it. I'm gonna be honest, because of the lag, it threw me off a little bit. Because the lag, everything feels slow motion, but at the same time, they're cutting through fast. Like, it's really weird to see it real time, because obviously the replay is not in slow motion compared to when you're playing. And it's like lightning fast how quick this push is and how quick Boei is starting to crumble against this Tylus army. which he's having to send in reinforcements. And don't forget, he's also trying to hold over on this position here. Even Nervii is starting to send over units to try to help hold this position, but he's doing a pretty good job. And you know what, guys? I completely forgot to show you this part of the battle. It wasn't too major, so I'll keep it slow motion. So remember I had my cav over here? Yeah, we completely missed it. My bad. So there was actually a cav unit from Pixelated. The Nervii closed in and killed it. I kept running with my cav to go after the archers, but for some reason the Pixelated archers are lightning fast. I couldn't charge them in time until, before infantry reinforcements showed up. So I had to fall my cav back, and I'm just gonna send them back and look for another opportunity here in this battle. But yeah, now the Nervii are just kind of holding here, and we got one cav unit out of it, which kind of sucks. I wanted more from that. I thought it was a really good sally out. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. But yeah, another gap has been broken through by the tribal warriors of Tylus. And BY is going to quickly throw in some sword followers to kind of clog up that gap. Close that gap. You thought? All right, so yeah, we're trying to hold that position here. And there's a big opening here. This is an opportunity to get behind some of the attackers. So yes, the attackers push through, but at the same time, could be a good flanky. But look at this. Now we have the Ivacy sending in more forces. It's getting kind of scary. Again, I was just like shocked by the pure amount, like the endless number of troops being sent in at this one area. I just did not expect this. And that is why it's just a big scramble right now. Here we go. Look at this. Column formation. Classic move there. Good move by Ivacy. And he's actually going to try to wrap around and get my thorax swords who are holding the center position with BY. Look at that. Look at that. He's trying to get to the archers. Thankfully, one of my thorax swordsmen show up just in time. Going to throw in some javies in there. And they're going to charge in. Sorry for the poor frame rate. It is a massive battle, and there's no way of escaping this. It doesn't matter how good your PC is. It's just the game. I know I've seen it many times where people are like, Apollo, you need to upgrade your computer. I'm like, no, my computer is fine. It's not my computer, it's the game. I mean, this game is like, what? It's old now. It's really old. It's like 7 years old or something. And my PC is like less than 2 years old. You know what I mean? It should be able to run this fine. But yeah, we've got the thorax swords hitting the rear of the chosen swordsman of Ivacy. So they've got me in a bit of a sandwich here between Tylus and Ivacy, but I've got the Ivacy in a sandwich. So it's a counter flank of the flank. I'm outflanking the flank. More Ivacy troops coming in. Look at this. They're just constantly hitting us. And I'm constantly trying to send up reinforcements. It's just not fast enough. It's just, I felt like every time I was one step behind. Every time they sent another unit, my unit was just right out of position. So I'm trying to quickly get them up in that, in the defensive location here to keep trying to hold this just slaughter that's going on right now. So over this way, we've pretty much, I killed the chosen swords with the archer's support. They sent another unit here of Celtic warriors to try to take the gate, or the wall, excuse me, but I've got them surrounded with my thorax swords. They sent another unit of swordsmen, I assume, to take this gate, and I didn't want them to take the gate and then rush cav inside, because they still have some cav. That would be a good move to just sneak them in and hit the rear of our army. So I didn't want to lose this gate, so I sent up the mercenary Cretan archers who are out of ammo, and I'm going to use them to kind of hold this position for as long as possible until I can quickly defeat the infantry over here and send these thorax swords down this way to help defend this gate, because again, I don't want them to take it. So let's go back over here where Egypt is making a great push here. The problem, see, this is just a great attack by the attackers. They're just overwhelming us with numbers here, right? Like, they just keep pouring units in, and it's causing us to really stretch thin. Egypt, on the other hand, is stretching the lines this way, right? And it's causing the Seleucids to try to, like, keep up with Egypt. So we're getting stretched thin. It's getting tough, and we need reinforcements quickly. Also, BY has taken a... Basically, he was forced to fall back because he just didn't have enough men to hold 2 positions. Masacely and Levy... We got some Levy... Oh my god. It's bad today. Levy Freeman of Nervii trying to hold and buy time. Nervii has sent up more troops over here. Some Levy Freeman as well. Masacely is pushing on this flank, and things are starting to crumble, guys. They are through the walls. They are starting to push in this big open gap I was talking about, this open space. And now I'm sending whatever I have, mercenary Thracian warriors. I mean, I felt like we had to fight for these walls or it was over. And if we lose the walls, it's GG. So, Thracian warriors, I think, yeah, see, I'm going to squeeze by, form a column, go after these skirmishers, which we do get a good charge. Thracian warriors have really good charge bonus. They're pretty quick, guys. God, it's framey. It is framey. I wonder if this helps. No, it's still framey. I was wondering if I had too many programs running. Nah, it's just the game. There's just so many units on the battlefield. So we're trying to chase them down. Again, these heavy Nubian skirmishers are so fast. Like, I finally catch up to them, but it's too late. Now we got the Desert Legionaries coming after me. And I wasn't able to get a good charge off against the Desert Legionaries. So it's a sad situation. So let's slow motion again. Well, yeah, let's slow motion again really quick. So they're pouring through over here. Masacely's pushing through. Okay, there we go. So they're pushing through. This is being held back by a thin line of troops. And this flank is just crumbling. There's just too many. I mean, look at this. Endless amount of troops just massing up. I mean, look at this. And there's just a thin line of defenders. And I didn't want to give it up. I didn't want to give it up. Keep holding, damn it. I got Thracians in there now. My 2 units of Thracian warriors. Woo! So, we're trying to get reinforcements over there. Meanwhile, we finally defeated the unit over on this side from the Arverni, so I'm going to be able to send reinforcements from this wall to other parts of the battle, like over here where my archers are fighting the good fight trying to defend this gate. God bless their souls. Fighting the good fight. Seleucids look like they're kind of taking back control of this area. They're sending in, he's sending in his general, try to help maintain the line, prevent any more gaps in the line, but this isn't looking good. I mean, look at all the units here. Tylus, Egypt, Arverni, and we've got slim pickings. Slim pickings. Okay, so Tylus has decided to hold back a lot of their troops. And I think we had a little bit of a misfire between our team right here, where I think some of us wanted to fall back to the town center and others wanted to keep fighting for the wall. And because of that, we've got units kind of all over the place, you know? Instead of being close by where the action is, where they can easily send up reinforcements whenever they need it and they can quickly plug any gaps or anything, they were really far away. Really far away. So I think it's time for us to kind of reform at this point. And here we go. See, I'm sending over some thorax swords to this battle, trying to help. This other thorax swords unit's moving over here to surround this Celtic warrior unit to help with the archers. Let's go back over to this side and see how Egypt is pushing through. My archers are open to attack. Look at that. They're kind of out in the open, trying to protect them. I've got my general charging in. Look at that. General pushing through, trying to protect the archers. Slow down Egypt here. Oh, yeah. Get out of here. And pretty soon, guys, the frame ratage is going to get a lot better. Once we get past kind of this opening stage here where all this fighting was taking place. But yeah, we're quickly trying to form a secondary defensive line. And here's also Corey retreating his cataphracts. I'm moving up some pikemen. This is honestly like one of the last units. I usually save my pikemen for the very end of the battle. And I'm trying to move up the pikemen to stop the bleeding and to cover the retreat of my other forces, like my archers. There we go. Pikes are forming up. Forming up. And you can see that we should have not held over here. I'm trying to hold over here, but we shouldn't have held over here. Got another unit of spears moving up. Trying to help over here, help the Nervii with their Celtic warriors. Look at Missaceles pouring in through over here. It's just a floodgate at this point. BY's general's trying to hold off some desert legionaries. We also have Nervii going after the Missacelan general or whatever. But of course the general is much healthier than the light horse. They stand no chance. So there we go. My pikes are doing a decent job here of holding and slowing the advance of the attackers. At least a little bit. Look at that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty awesome. You can get so many cool shots of these battles. So my pikes are trying to hold. Of course, they're getting focused down by archer fire. Already lost 5 men. So, yeah. I was in the mindset, I was really confident in holding this position up here, because whenever you see a mass blob of attackers, it usually doesn't work out. But in this case, it worked out because our reinforcements weren't in position, and they just like, look at the carnage of this area of the battle. It was just chaos. Look at that. Dead chariots, cav. I mean, so thousands, probably literally thousands of troops died in this one area of this fight. Now we got slingers who are just throwing rocks like crazy, and we're just like running and like, leave us alone. So I'm trying to reform. We're figuring out where we need to set up. I think our communication wasn't great here. Like, where are we going to set up? Where are we going to hold? We need to do something. So I get some stupid idea of holding this building here and using my archers. I mean, this is a cool vantage point, right? To fire down at the troops, right? The enemies. Here's the problem. And this is, I just didn't know this. You get up this way by the stairway, right? It makes sense. But at the time, I wasn't really paying attention, and I wasn't properly defending the stairway. So my archers are up here in a nice, you know, vantage high ground situation. Oh my god, look at that. That's cool. Trying to kill whatever comes near them, but I'm not defending the stairway. So Missaceles like, all right, you idiot. Okay, I'm just gonna walk past your pikemen and go kill your archers. And I saw that, I was like, oh crap. This is not good. So I'm gonna quickly rush my pikemen in to try to help. And here they go, Missaceles, they're up here. I wish there was more buildings like this in Total War, where you could like hold up and, you know, you got like little makeshift barricades and stuff, and it's pretty cool. So I'm trying to close in, but by doing that, my back is exposed to the Missaceles Desert Legionaries. I gotta send my other pike unit to help them. I'm trying to reform. It's just a nightmare and it's a mess. There we go. I got out of. Come on, get your pikes out. So I'm trying to let them reform a line so they're not outflanked. Look at that. Show them how real men fight. That's awesome. That building in the back there. It also looks like there's some troops going, look at, through the doorway. So I think they can go up the doorway as well and come out this way, which is no bueno. My archers are now, you know, literally backs to the walls, trying to fight for their life. I decided to say, you know what, screw it. I need to save my pikemen. or my archers, I'm sending in my pikemen without their pikes. I'm just throwing them in and hoping to overwhelm the Sicily. Look at that. I like the combat in the building though. That's really cool. So that's going on, and this is when we finally say, you know what? Screw it. Fall back. We lost the walls. We can't hold much longer. We've got to fall back. Get out of here. There we go. Pikes are killing Miss Aisley. I'm gonna be able to save my archers. So yeah, we're finally gonna get the hell out of here. And that was honestly a terrible retreat. When you fall back to your final stand, you need to make sure that you're protecting your units as they fall back. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want them getting harassed by cav or archers or stuck anywhere. You got to make sure you fall back safely and with plenty of time. And we didn't do that well. And I think the biggest reason why is because we weren't exactly sure where we were gonna fall back. Were we gonna hold here? We kind of held here, but then we're like, this isn't working. And eventually we're just like, screw it. We should have done this earlier. Let's go all the way to the town center here and hold this position. So this is just a big fallback situation. I'm trying to rush my pikes out of here. They're getting hammered by archers, and yeah, that's not good. My archers are now charging out. I didn't even tell them to charge. I guess they're just bloodthirsty. I don't know what they're doing. They're defending the stairway. It's actually pretty cool. I've never seen this before. Holding the stairway. My pikes are crushed here, unfortunately. Trying to save my archers. Literally just trying to save anything I have to save this battle. Okay, so this is a good time to kind of analyze what's happened and what we have and what we plan on doing. So at the start of the battle, like I said, my army was just out of position. They were mostly like around right here. Me expecting, I was expecting Egypt to push this wall really hard. But they kind of pushed it, but not really. It was more over here where they were pushing. And then the poor BY player had to hold here and here. I thought Nervii was going to push in more reinforcements, but look at this. He's got a ton of reinforcements. That's just the way I saw it, right? I saw it as me and Nervii were like a support army. We send them wherever needed to support our allies. But Nervii kind of took more of a, nah, I'm just going to hang back. Now, the player playing Nervii is a really good player, Scarab. And that's why, like, I just think it was miscommunication because he's really good. Like, he's way better than me. So I just think we had some miscommunication there. And partially, you know, losing this outer wall was a big my fault because I had to run my troops all the way over here to support this area. And my God, look at this carnage. Carnage right here. Well, the good news about Armored not committing all of his forces is that he does have a pretty healthy last stand force. So in terms of infantry, it's going to be up to Armored, who's playing Nervii. We do have a couple BY troops. We got some of my archers. I think at this point, I've got mostly archers and cav. I do have one unit here of thorax swordsmen, but it's like 43 men, but every single man matters at this point of the battle. And also you can see here, Nervii is setting up an ambush, and this is actually pretty cool because these guys can hide quite well. And we're waiting for them to fully commit into the town center, and then we're gonna push these guys over here. Also, I have my cav over here, but I'm pretty sure they were spotted by the enemy general, which is why he's outside the settlement, kind of looking the direction where my cav is. So that's unfortunate, because I was hoping they wouldn't see that cav, and they would leave all their archers kind of in the back, and I'd be able to charge them. And kind of looking at their armies, they don't, other than Egypt, they don't have a ton of infantry. It's mostly just skirmishers. And that's why we felt we could still win this battle if we just killed the skirmishers, and we'd be fine, right? We'd be completely fine. Because, yeah, they've got a lot of infantry, but Nervii has enough infantry to match their infantry. But we just got to kill the skirmishers. And another thing we got to look out for, pikemen. And this is what kills me. This is what kills me in this battle, is that I should have not have used my pikemen right here. I should have fallen back so much sooner with my pikemen and saved them for the final stand, because I would have been able to go, I would have been able to have gone toe to toe, you know, against the enemy pikemen. You know, a good counter against pikes or other pikemen. Also archers. So, yeah. Big push by Egypt. Arverni right behind them. Arverni still has a decent amount of infantry as well. The balance of power is not looking great, but nothing is impossible if you just believe. Believe that you can win. We're going to fast forward a little bit here. It's nice that the frame rate is a little bit better. Back over here, you can see that they're committing to my general. They're chasing him down. You see that? They really want him gone. So I was like, ah, dang it. They spotted him. And it's always a smart thing to do, guys. Even if the battle's going your way completely, always check your rear, check behind corners. Make sure no one's sneaking up on you, because it really can be the end for you if you don't check. Because even though if you have a bigger army or stronger army, all it takes is one good cav charge and you could be at a huge deficit. So good play by the attackers, and I'm just gonna try to get my cav out of there and hopefully use them somewhere else. So the forces are reforming over here. I've got my general in this position here. Nervii has their troops lined up and ready to go. Boei is going to be the first to hold this position with some Levy Freeman. Looks like they're already getting hit with skirmishers, which is good. You know, we want them to use up ammo. So that's another thing that I got to give credit to the attackers, is that they conserved their ammo so well. So well. And this is pro tactics. Now, we conserved our ammo as well, but we didn't conserve it as well as they did. And I'm really impressed on how well they conserved it. Look at it. Now they can just use their archer fire to start shooting at our archers. And I'm going to quickly run up some archers this way as well. Got some slingers, and I've got some of these archers. That's about it for my archers. So I noticed that we were getting flanked by Tylus. Now at this point of the battle, the Tylus player disconnected, but his army was mostly gone, so it wasn't that big of a deal. And what I'm trying to do here is get him to go after my slingers. Got my slingers lined up because they still have some ammo left. So what I'm going to do is just hit him with the rocks. My ally over here, Nervii, is going to hit him from the flank. I'm also moving my general that way because, hey, every unit that we kill is a small victory, you know, without us losing a unit, if you know what I mean. So we're just desperately trying to slowly chip away. You know, any opportunity that we can take away 1 or 2 units before they attack is a small victory, even if it's just a slinger unit. So there we go. He's gonna stop pursuing so I could pursue with my cav. Go after these Celtic slingers. See, over this way, he still has his ambush troops pushing forward. Look at this. Sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Well, look out. You never know what's going to happen here when you're playing with Pixie Poo. You never know. But here we go. I finally catch up to the slingers. My general's going in. I do get one of them to stay and die, basically. Take him out. So yeah, they're wiped clean. I got another unit over there that's in charging position. So I'm gonna just move on to the next unit. I did notice that they are starting to shift over troops over here. I was a little worried about that, but I was glad that Tylus was running away from them, so they couldn't easily support this. So yeah, I'm gonna quickly take these guys out too. Boom, 2 units gone. It's a small victory, but it's a victory. Those are the kind of a lot of small victories can lead to a big victory. Pro quotes. Pro quotes from Pixie Poo. So, yeah, I'm sorry if I'm moving the camera around so much. There's just a lot going on. I need to slow it down a little bit. Usually replays that I'm in, I tend to like to zoom around and show everything that was going, because I know what was happening because I was in the battle. Because usually when I do battle replays, I don't know how the battle plays out, and that's the fun of it. But I'm able to just kind of sit back and focus on a couple things. So again, they're just kind of dipping their toes in the water, so to speak. You know, hitting us with skirmishers, trying to soften up our troops. Here comes a little charge here. Look at this from some Celtic slingers. They're going in. And Egypt's going to follow close behind with the thorax swordsman. Oh, almost. Is he going to charge? There he goes. Very sweet, very awesome. And Bowie is going to do his best to buy as much time as possible. Also, because it took them 15 minutes to even start the attack, we were kind of playing for time a little bit. Because I think at this point there was like, I think we had to hold for like another 10 minutes and we would win. So we were also playing the clock as well and trying to slow down their advance as much as possible. So over on this side, he once again does a good job with this general. He spots, whether he did this by accident or on purpose, this was really good play by Ivacy. He spots the surprise troops and they're gonna just say, you know what, screw it. They know we're over here. Unfortunately, the attackers know we're back here, so Armored decides to just fall back and reinforce the main point because the element of surprise is gone. Bowie is starting to break here. I'm going to throw in my slingers who are out of ammo. Boom. Trying to reinforce the line. Again, trying to buy time. Here comes Nervii sending in some fierce swords. Hold the line. Hold the line. Awesome. Got some archers up here trying to soften up their archers, doing everything I can. Over this way, my general, this is a pretty good move right here. So we kind of missed this, but we have 3 units from our Verney trying to take this ledge up here, which is giving our archers some great high ground. We got 1 unit of swords protecting it, and my general, we did a little hammer and anvil there. So it's a nice little combo, and it's actually doing a lot of damage. Again, this is another minor victory, a small victory. We're trying to claw our way back into this battle. As long as you have units, you have hope. And here comes Misasely sending in their general. At this point, you know, it's pretty safe of him to commit his general because most of his army was pretty much wiped. So if he loses his general here, it's not a big deal. I'm actually going to retreat my general, trying to do some cycle charges. So I'm not completely retreating him. I have some of my mercenary Cretan archers trying to slow down the general who's going to try to get up here. And yeah, see, he's just brute force getting up here using his riders, his general to slaughter these archers, unfortunately. Good move by Misasely. But we're going to kill him. We're going to kill him for that. Our Verney breaking over here as well. The general charges and combined with the sword, the fierce swords, they just couldn't hold. And now we're going to kill Misasely. So I'm moving up my general. I'm going to kill this general. General v. General. General on general crime. Here we go. Boom. And mixed with the fierce swords, should be able to win this one. It's going to be close, though. Oh, he used his second win. Nice move there. I don't have that, though. Over this way, Nervii doing the best he can to try to hold Egypt, pushing full force into this town center. We are doing everything we can to hold them back. Fierce swords, they're trying. I got finally my 1 unit of thorax swordsmen. They're very tired, but they have no choice. They have to fight or die. I'm trying to quickly get them into the fight as well. Got my cav coming over this way as well. There we go. We killed Miss Aisley's general. I'm just letting my general kind of take a breather here for a second. We have our Vernie with his archers getting up there. I think they're out of ammo, so it's not that big of a deal, but I'm going to run my cav over there to try to kill him. And here we go. This is our second layer of line here. Trying to hold against these mercenary Cretan archers. It's a good sign that we're seeing enemy archers being thrown into the front line. That means they're running out of infantry. Kind of. Not really. Our Vernies, they've got their troops here. Pushing in. But nice little secondary line here. And also, let's not forget, I think they also have pikemen still. Yeah, see, they haven't even committed the pikemen into the fight yet. That's going to be a problem. We still have a back line of reserve from Nervii. I've got my my cav kind of falling back here. Fierce swords falling back since this doesn't need to be defended anymore. But this flank is going to be a problem. More and more of the Egyptians are pushing into our lines. Nervii sending in reinforcements. Look at the great temple of Athena. We fight near the temple of Athena. Unfortunately, my 43-man thorax swordsman unit is gone. And Nervii, it's really up to them in terms of infantry to try to hold this point. And it's just a tough fight. So I'm just looking. I mean, we still have the reserves back here, which is good. We even have some archers. Look at that. Some hunters, which I assume he's using to fire down on the pikemen, which he's got right here. Which this is going to be a problem unit. We really got to take them out with arrows. Now look, they're going to push in, make them harder to hit, and they're just going to start killing us. I do use a little rally there because some of his troops are starting to break, but it's just not enough. They're still kind of wavering. There we go. I'm charging in my cav. This is not my general cav, just my normal cav. I'm trying to rush them in. I'm trying to get my general in there. But I had to let our Vernie general go, unfortunately. I wanted to kill him, but I didn't want to lose my cav just yet because I still believe that we could win this battle. I just had to use my cav very wisely. And here we go. The final wave from Nervii, Oathsworn. The best of the best, ready to make their stand. Barbarian versus barbarian. Archers still focusing down their pikes, but it's just, there's too many of them. They still have 125 pikemen. My general's holding up on this choke point here, trying to buy time. I'm trying. There's just too many. Companion cav, hold. Now my other cav unit's trying to hold off our Vernie general, but this cav unit's outmatched. They're tired. They're exhausted. It's just not going to happen. So they break. Oof. So I think it's safe to say that we do lose this battle. And it really came down to, in my opinion, a couple things. It came down to the fact that we did not reinforce this area quick enough. And we were always right behind the enemy to the point where every time there was a gap, they would squeeze by a little bit and then we'd meet them. and it's just too slow. You got to close the gap. Exactly. Don't give them any ground, because they'll try to flank around you and cause some issues. But God, the carnage over here. It's such a great battle in this area. So my army positioning, again, I thought they were going to attack the walls. I could have reinforced the walls really quickly, but nah, it was all over here. Also, Nervii having a lot of his troops in the rear. I think it was just some miscommunication. So that's the other thing, miscommunication. And 3, personally, my pike usage was really bad. I should have just fallen back, everyone, to the final stand. I think we would have been better off. But yeah, I think that's it, though, in terms of mistakes. I think my team did really well. I honestly felt very confident after the 15-minute mark, because it took them 15 minutes to attack. But hey, that slow and steady kind of strategy really helped them out, because, you know, they weakened the walls as much as possible. Then they pushed in. And once you get through the walls, it's hard to win at Athens. It is hard to win at Athens when you lose the walls. So GG to my opponents. Also, all of these guys are really good players. Really good players. So they get on the Knights of Apollo Discord and play like all the time. So they're playing all the time. They're really good. It's always a good challenge. And look at these kills. Look at these kills. This is when you know you've got all the players are good. When everybody pretty much carries their weight. When everybody carries their weight in kills. You know, it wasn't like one player who got like 3,000 kills and the other one got 900. Everybody carried their weight. And when you do that, you get epic battles like this one. So a very good game to all the players here. This was a lot of fun. Remember, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 3:30 p.m. US Eastern Time. I'm going to be doing a lot of siege battles, so feel free to take part in these battles. As long as you don't have a potato computer, or, you know, and you also have a solid connection, be sure to join. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time on the battlefield.